where we are talking about tech startups in Kenya, and I'm joined by Don Okoth, who is the General Manager for Sandy Kenya. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right, now today we are talking about tech startups, and we've just seen Kelly Boss was explaining to us about the history of tech startups and how tech has really evolved from the moment it came and where we are right now.
Yeah.
So first of all, from where you sit, where are we in terms of embracing technology?
I think we've made some great strides just from a tech perspective. I remember when we were starting off early in 2014, 2013, most customers didn't even know how to use a mobile application. Right now it's a way of life. Everyone wants to order online. They're able to do that through their app. And we're seeing that growth across Africa, not only in Kenya.
All right, Don, and now let us also look at you. Your company deals with transporters, and you've brought together all of them under one platform. First of all, what's even made you to just think about doing this?
Our mission at Sandy is to enable businesses to trade with ease. And for businesses to trade with ease, they need markets. And for markets to work efficiently, there's need for logistics and financial services. So that aspect of logistics is what we wanted to bridge, and financial services. So the Sandy fulfillment platform allows manufacturers to be able to consign with us for a period of time and place this shipment across. The top 4 supermarkets in Kenya have over 200 branches across, and they need to deliver to these branches efficiently, affordably. So through the Sandy fulfillment platform, we actually enable these manufacturers to be able to ship their items and to deliver, because we're able to pick, pack, and ship these items for them.
All right, and now, I believe you're working with other different businesses from even outside Kenya. So how easy is it working with them? Because now the logistical challenges that usually come with also working with companies outside. What are some of the challenges, and how have you been able to bridge in the gaps?
Yeah, cross-border movement has not been easy because of just the complexity at the border points. But what we're seeing through things like the African Continental Free Trade Area that was signed in January 2021, coming up with an African marketplace. Through these measures, it's becoming a bit easier to be able to transport or to offer logistics services across the African continent. Though it's still not fully there, and that's why we've ended up building now Sandy fulfillment centers across these countries, just to enable trade easily within the countries.
And now I believe this is an application that really enables people to even trade from wherever they are. You don't have to physically go there. You can even use your phone. So regarding this, how is how are the masses embracing it?
I think right now, I think the main aim of Sandy fulfillment is to reduce logistic costs. And once you reduce this logistic cost, it has a ripple effect even in prices. So what we've seen is that a lot of manufacturers are actually not buying their own fleet or not investing in warehousing. They're able now to consign with us, and through that now they're able to even reduce the logistic cost further by about 50%. So we are seeing a lot of manufacturers embracing technology and just focusing on their core business, which is more of production and generating sales. Yeah.
And now, last year, towards the end of last year, we looked at there was an excise duty put on some products. And how does such affect your line of business when it comes to now you getting profits? When you sit down at the end of a certain quarter, what do you look at in terms of trying to increase this?
Yeah, the ripple effect is there, Calvin. For example, once there is this increase in excise duties, it means households have less spending amount. And with that, it means also logistics has to go down because they're not buying as they used to. So any excise duty or any tax has a ripple effect all to the household from a purchasing perspective, from the customer perspective.
All right, and now looking at the EAC, the trading within EAC, and you as Sandy Kenya, when it comes to trade within the EAC, how easy is it to use the platform to trade within EAC?
In Uganda, it's very easy. We have a fulfillment center in Uganda. We've already set up base. Tanzania is a bit complex because of just the legal procedures of setting up a company in Tanzania. But what we're seeing, we are seeing a lot of goodwill among the leaders in terms of just opening up the economies. And I think with time, it will be very, very easy for us to just trade across East Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right, and now moving on even this year, when you look at, we are in April right now, by the time we reach maybe the end of the year, what are you looking at in terms of the projections on the business, and maybe even in the coming years? What are you looking at?
So our goal is to reduce logistic cost. That's the goal that we want to aim for. And when you look at now the year, we are currently in 2 countries, actually 4 countries. We're in Uganda, we're in Ivory Coast, we're in Nigeria, and Kenya. Our goal is now to have a Pan-African business across the entire Africa, so that we can be able to enable businesses to trade with ease.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now, trying to also focus on the other types of, when it comes to technology and startups, there is the challenge of data, there's the challenge of making sure that at least your things are in line. You as Sandy Kenya, what is it that makes you really just be able to manage? You said you're in Ivory Coast, you're in other different countries. What makes it easy for you to manage all this under one platform?
So we leverage heavily on technology, and I wanted to say that the tech company is purely African. The tech company that we currently have. So we leverage heavily in technology, but also we do collaborate with the different governing legislation, whether it's data, the data policies in place, and in that case now we're able to align and ensure that the data protection is in place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now, such applications like Sandy and the others that we have, how can we make them to just improve the adoption of technology?
Once there are clear savings, for example, for the manufacturers, where we're able to save up to 50% of the logistic cost, in that case it becomes a no-brainer for these manufacturers to use the service. So as long as you're solving a problem and the problem is very clear, then you find that the usage will not be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when you look at, we've spoken about usage, when you look at how we as Kenyans use technology and other different countries that you deal with, where are we in terms of using technology? Because with these other countries, the way you've explained, Tanzania are, it's not really forthcoming, but what is it that makes Kenya different from the other countries?
First of all, Kenya is a very entrepreneurial country, and also our level of education is very, very high. And that's why we find the uptake for mobile apps and uptake for just technology is very, very high compared to other countries. Mm-hmm. You just mentioned about the launch of M-Pesa in 2007. That made payments to be very seamless. As you start progressing in other African countries, you find that there's a payment issue. It's still heavily cash. So with that reason, you find that it's very, very easy to have a very high uptake of technology in Kenya compared to a number of countries in Africa.
Mm-hmm. And now, even as we want to wrap up the conversation, and let us look at the prospects and what you are looking at in terms of expanding this. What are we looking at in terms of maybe in the coming 2 years, and we look at Sandy Kenya and the things that it has been able to do? What are we looking at in terms of expansion?
What is happening in Africa is a wave. I think I mentioned about the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Mm-hmm. That has a massive, it's going to open up logistics, because if we have a trade, one market where guys are able to trade their goods, it's going to open up the trade. We're also seeing the private and the public sector coming in to develop infrastructure. Mm-hmm. With that level of infrastructure, it means goods can easily move from one place to another. It's still not there, but you're looking at a point where we have very high infrastructural development. Then Sandy is going to play a part in ensuring that these goods can actually move from point A to point B affordably, efficiently, and on time.
All right, now we've come to the end. Now just give us your parting shot, and then we can close.
I think we have a young population, we are entrepreneurial, and Africa is growing, and I think it's in the place of technology right now, and we've seen a lot of startup coming up, and Sandy is positioning itself to enable all these businesses to trade with ease. This is through logistics and also offering financial services to these particular e-commerce and social commerce players.
Thank you for joining us today and giving us your insights. All right, that is Dawn Okoth, who is the General Manager, Sandy Africa, talking to us about how we as Kenyans need to embrace technology and also what are the prospects when it comes to trying to trade with even countries outside Kenya. Thank you for joining us today and giving us your insights. All right, that is Dawn Okoth, who is the General Manager, Sandy Africa, talking to us about how we as Kenyans need to embrace technology and also what are the prospects when it comes to trying to trade with even countries outside Kenya. My name